All right, we're coming back for part three of monogamy versus open relationships, and this is a lengthy conversation, and it's an important one. But again, feedback, input, suggestions. You want to be a guest on the show? Hit us up. KINGAND K King and I 369 at gmail.com. Boy, I'm just heavy in thought over this conversation. Again, you can find
There
us
it is deep.
worldwide on most major
Very deep.
podcast platforms. But we're gonna jump back into this conversation, and I think pretty much what the conversation was leading to, what y'all had just brought up before the break, was kind of like leading into swinging. So before I jump in and give my little 2 cents, I'll let you finish your thought.
Okay. Um, and the second part of that is the whole building again is going back to building your legacy. Like, what are you gonna leave behind on this planet that says, "Hey, I, Michael, or I, Jason, or I, Karen, or I, um, Karen, or Christine, or whatever the case may be. What did you leave here, not only for your next generation of kids, but what did you leave for the planet?" And I think that there's a reason why we are, there's more women on the planet itself than there are men. My reasoning is, and me just observing nature, there's more women on this planet and less men. So why are we trying to make women go without because there's less men? Meaning, i.e., why not build with one man and more women when nature itself is showing us women are, they way outnumber men? And I'm not saying again any man to build with. I'm saying a righteous man, someone who's mentally there, who can help build you up and help you uh, become the best version of yourself.
That sounds like relationship stuff. We pretty much are talking about relations where you just have open, agreeable sex with people because it sounds like the rules are you don't do certain things with the side the side piece because you have a main one unless you do have that agreement to do that. So I do agree that in traditional relationships, yes, there should always be growth, for sure, because I just feel that it should be growth. You shouldn't be the same way that you entered. You should have individual goals as well as relationship goals. um, that's again just my personal um, opinion on that.
So I want to jump in there because I mean that whole segment of the conversation, was kind of leaning towards swinging, and when it comes to growth, I don't. I mean, to me, when you mention growth, that's more on a monogamous level, just to me.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
but when we go down these categories of open relationships, and then we jump down to swinging, I don't see that as a growth. Um, I see that as a recreational thing that two people say, "Hey, let's go swing." Um, uh, I do agree that there's more women on the planet than men, so why not enjoy the fruits of the earth to a degree? I mean, if that's your cup of tea. Um, but that also goes into something that you said, that if a man wants to be with a man and a woman wants to be with a woman, hey, if that's your cup of tea, that's your cup of tea. When it comes to swinging, that's likely to happen. Um, so when I think about swinging, that's just something that I'm just not willing to put myself into. Um, I'll have a orgy with several women, but I'm not going. I'm I'm not I'm
Don't
not built to be in the swinging arena.
don't stop.
I've been asked, I've been curious, but then when I really think about it, nah, I don't want to do that. I'd rather I'd rather I'm more prone to be with the first two categories, is having a multi partner relationship, two, three or more partners, or have a hybrid relationship, either, well, it's not going to be either. You sit your ass at home, I'm going to go jump on my side piece, and, that's what that is. But swinging is just,
So I have I think with that, because some things you can't change, right? So
mm,
even if you had that sit down conversation and you say, babe, I like to explore different places to have sex, right? Maybe you're tired of just the bedroom, right?
mm,
And whether she agrees or not, that's something simple. But if you're looking for a different type, a different feature, she can't really change that. And that goes back to what I said with somebody doesn't feel adequate. It's just like size may matter to some women. If your penis is very small and we cannot see it with the lights on or with glasses, you cannot change that, right? You cannot change the size of your penis.
who the hell is going to get into a relationship with somebody who's
Oh man.
small, though?
But they
But
might have got into that relationship because that person was a provider, or that
Fan
person,
ass.
did all these things, but now, they're really just not feeling anything. It's not hitting any type of walls. And so the next thing you know, she is getting balls deep with someone else. And you cannot change that you have a small penis. Someone can lose weight, someone can gain weight. I mean, those are things that, are easy. She can dress up, undress, whatever it is that you're into, but you can't change some things. If the girl is black and you're into white women now or Spanish, she can't change her race. And you cannot change your penis size if it's too small or too big. If you're hurting her uterus and she can't take you every other day, you can't change those things. So then what do you do?
you you need to be honest with yourself first and foremost, because my thing is this: if a woman gets with a man and she knows off the break that he ain't
Let me stop.
he ain't hitting the sides of the walls, you know, why are you with this man? I don't give a damn if he's a good provider. You know from the jump, before you get that emotionally invested in that man, you know, hey, you coming up kind of short. Your tongue is bigger than your dick. Why? As a woman, why are you making that commitment? You're lying to yourself. Now you got to sit this person down and be like, hey, blah blah blah. I want to go over here and go to the hot dog stand and get raw railed. Why are you with this person who doesn't satisfy you sexually? Just like men, if your preference is skinny women, why are you with a big woman, knowing damn well you're gonna look at this woman and be like, why are you lying to yourself? Just why? And that's just like me. My preference is bigger women, so I'm not going to I'm not going to get in a relationship with a skinny woman. And mind, let me just say, I have been in a relationship with skinny women, but my preference is bigger women. So it's like I'm looking at a skinny woman like, you cute, but I'm not going to have fun with you. You're going to bore me. So I'm not going to engage in a long. I may try just because we have that type of chemistry, but I have to be honest with myself before I allow you to get so invested in me and me invested in you that, you know what, if you're not my type for that whatever, I don't want to drag you into where I'm like, hey babe, I was thinking, you know that I'm not really into skinny women. So what do you think if we invite a couple of friends over and we do this? Or are you okay with me going out and getting me a side chick? Or, hey babe, you want to try swinging? No, why? Just be honest with yourself first and foremost. Then be honest with that person, because for the life of me, I don't understand why a woman is going to be with a man who can't touch shit. And on the flip side, if this dude is hung like a horse and he's breaking your damn clavicle and your uterus, why the hell are you with him? Because
all
now
right.
you
I
put
know
yourself
Soul got something. He
into
was writing something down. Soul was writing something down. So
you put yourself into a position to where now you force yourself to have to go outside for satisfaction, regardless of what that is.
I totally agree with you. Um, You make a very valid point. Why invite yourself into something that you're not attracted to? Now, back to what Kiss was saying. As far as size, I think I have to disagree with you on that because dudes are having surgery, are having surgeries every day to get that thing right. Okay,
No.
they going there. They are
No.
having the surgery to say,
Yo.
"Hey, I got this many, but I want this many."
Are you
You know
serious?
what I'm
They doing
saying?
that?
Yes, they are doing it and have been doing that.
Right.
Okay, so when it
I'm
comes back
sorry.
around to
No.
the whole swinging thing, that type of lifestyle wouldn't be for me. Simply because I'm not building shit there. So that means if I'm just, breaking this off in you, it's just for sport. And I don't have time for sport. Either we building something or we making something that's gonna last, for the rest of our lives and then into the lives of our children,
Hmm.
then I'm not gonna waste my time with it. That's not getting me anywhere because you only have so much time to do your thing here on this plane before you
Hmm.
move on to the next one. But that's
Facts,
how I would answer that
facts. And he's right. They are getting extensions.
Wow.
For sure. It ain't just the women with the weaves and the bodies. Men are getting things enlarged as well. But then people get their, I find this might be a slight tangent, but I kind of like to see first, because I have been set up where this guy was so nice. I mean, all the flowers. I love flowers and dinner. And then you get down to the nitty gritty. I'm like, whoa, I can't see it. Like, what am I gonna do with that? And some people say, oh, I'm shallow. I'm like, I'm not shallow. I don't want to cheat on you.
one.
That's my thing. I'm not known to be a cheater. I don't want to be a cheater. I do like to have sex if I'm in a relationship. And so I know that's me. And some of my friends say, well, Krista, you always gonna be single. I'm like, I need to see first. And so sometimes when I'm flirting with somebody, I may say, what you got? Because I do want to see. I don't want to be set up for the okie doke.
Wait a
I
minute.
really don't. But that was just my tangent, my public service announcement. I apologize, viewers.
Teacher, I got questions. I got questions before we jump into the next part of this topic of but talk about online dating. Okay, so I get it. I get it. You want to see what the man got. You're not okay. I'm just gonna speak for me. When I'm hard, you're gonna be impressed. When I'm not hard, what are you looking for? Like seriously.
Oh,
And
you come on.
you
When
don't know shit.
somebody's
No,
when
stop, stop.
somebody's stuff is hanging on their leg and they not hard, you're like, oh, that's
Everybody
that's
does
still
not
gonna be
have a
nice.
goddamn diving board when they limp. So my thing is this: if you're asking me, let me see what you got. I'm gonna send you a dick pic because if we are together, and here's the thing, you might say, "Oh, you sent me a dick pic. That might be doctor." Well, Slim, if you want to see it in purpose, you're gonna do something with this. I'm not just gonna sit there. We sitting there chilling, talking, whatever the case may be, and you sizing me up. Oh, you're a nice person. Oh, you gave me flowers. You give me this. You might have that bullshit 90-day rule. Not bullshit 90-day rule, but you might have that time limit rule to where you say, I'm not giving up my body until a certain amount of time, till I feel comfortable that you're going to be someone that's going to be there. Cool, I get it. But in that time frame, don't touch me in a sexual manner if you're not going to give it to me. Don't ask me if you can see it if you're not going to do something with it. Because I think that puts you in a bad position because I'm gonna be like, shit, you need to make that hard if you really want to see it. And if you make me hard, I'm gonna want to do something. And if you have me in that type of situation and you're not going to do anything with it, but you want to see it, you want to touch it, make sure it's real, you know what? You got this time limit and arouse. So when I leave you, I'm about to go. I'm about to get this off. That's just what it is.
I'm not getting
Both
set up.
barrels. Boom, boom.
I'm not getting set up no more. I don't give a shit. I'm not. So that I don't have to have that conversation about, say, man, I'm looking for an open relationship. No, I want to know off the rip what it is that I'm also courting, what I'm
Hey,
investing my time and my energy in as well.
so
I need
so
someone to match my sexual being as also.
so are you okay with a man saying, "All right, I need to see what you working with. Let me see that."
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
No, 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 no. Oh, hell no. You just said,
Yeah,
"Oh, I think it looks nice." No, I want to see what it looked like.
yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. If I'm really feeling you, I don't send it to the whole web. But if I'm really serious feeling you, I probably have already decided that I was gonna give you some. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm not ashamed of mine. I think it looks great.
Oh wow.
Damn it. Okay, let me go back on topic. Um,
That's a top. Hey,
when,
that's a
when,
that's definitely a topic for another
yeah, yeah,
Stay
yeah,
for
yeah,
tuned.
another
yeah.
that
Stay
we have.
tuned, viewers.
When it comes down to sides, I feel like as a man, um, I'm not gonna lie on my dick. I'm just not gonna waste my time. If I got 12 inches, that's what I got. If I got freaking 4 inches, that's what I got. But regardless of the size I actually have, I'm not gonna tell. Not on air, but the point that I'm making is don't lie on your dick. That's one of the things the OGs taught me very early. Don't lie on your dick.
Hmm.
You have what you have. What God bless you with is what God bless you with.
Mhm.
So don't ever be ashamed of your size. If that's what you have, then that's what you have.
Yeah.
But I'm sure God gave you other gifts. You might have a tongue twice as long. I don't know.
Mm.
But work with what you got. And if you can't work with what you got, I can't knock you if you go get the surgery done. Do your thing. Because women also get that surgery done. They get their shit tightened up too. Please believe it.
Hmm.
And there's nothing wrong. I mean, you see women who have breast enlargement all the time or breast reductions all the time,
Mm.
but people don't pass judgment on them.
Mm.
Me
Oh,
and I
he
be like, you
sounds
know
so
what?
nice.
You
He's
got some
so
little
past.
bitty bitties.
Uh,
So you I can't do nothing with you because you got some little bitty bitties.
mm.
Two bee stings up top and a big old booty. Some brothers or some people, some men enjoy that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Or some women enjoy it. I don't know, whatever your purpose is.
Well, just know if
But
somebody
to,
is cannot see.
Mm. But that takes us down to
there's
online
nothing
dating.
wrong with that at all either.
That takes us down to online dating hookups. Um, I personally don't see why that would be an open relationship category. But in my research, that came up as a category. Um, Online dating is just online dating, uh, and I guess that would fall up under the other ones because, hey, if you are married and you want to date online, okay. But as a standalone category, I don't, I don't, I don't know.
I see it because it's so easier. It's more easy than going out to the real. I guess I want to say real world. Maybe that's not the right term
No, you
to
said the right
actually.
term. That's the right term. And after you finish your point, we definitely can elaborate on that.
It's not the same as. So we're gonna talk as if there was an open relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
You and Susan, open relationship. That's what you decided to do, but it's not as easy as just going down the street and saying, "Oh, hey, she cute. Let's that's who I want to explore with." So online dating, there's so many people who are not looking for relationship; they are just looking for relations, and so it makes it so much easier.
True,
So the
true, true.
online dating piece, I think, is kind of important because it's so sex is so readily available. You don't even got to take them to dinner. You don't even got to call them. They're ready too. Men and women, they are just ready to do it. Is now, since online dating is so much easier, does that make it so much mentally more acceptable to say, I want to have open relationship because it's so easy to find the next piece or side piece?
Um, my perspective on that online dating, uh, my experiences in the past is, to be honest, it's a waste of time
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the times when I would meet some of these people or ladies in person, they look nothing like they freaking picture. Or they could be the prettiest thing in the world, but are really rooting them to eternity, that they don't realize that if you got all this beauty and all these things going on with you, if you but again, that goes down to personal preference. Um, but I think that a lot of times people are what's the exact term I'm looking for here? Fish, fish. Doesn't
Catfishing?
it? Thank you. People get catfish. You know what I'm saying? These on the net because you really only see what it is that they're projecting out to the world on the net. But then when they're in person, they're nothing like that person they're trained. So if I was single now, would I be online uh, looking to date someone? Hell no. I'd rather catch you out in public where you're shopping or running an errand, or I damn sure as hell ain't going to no club looking for someone to actually build something with. But if I just caught you out in passing, that would be something I'd be more willing to entertain than someone on the net.
Um, my thing with online dating overall, I think is garbage, and I say that because people hide behind these online personalities and stuff like that. Uh, a lot of women that I've seen, they beef up their profiles to make themselves seem marketable, and it's like you're you don't even match your your profile. Like when I was on there, and I never went on there seriously looking for someone to be in a relationship with. Um,
Hmm.
but I found that a lot of these women, they'll put on there they got master's degrees and bachelor degrees and this that and the other, and they're doing this and they're doing that. You have two or three phone calls with them, and it's like, what the hell? Like like come on now, like
Can't even hold a decent conversation, and you
right.
got those type of
You can't
degrees.
have a decent conversation. The conversation that you're actually having does not match what your profile is. Um, Another thing is men have tarnished online dating so much that women play these types of games, or they they're they're not receptive to people who are genuine, or they're out there with the fishing rod talking about got me another one. I got me another one. Um,
Mm.
and another thing is some of the women they expect a certain type of man. Like I don't know how many. I think it was maybe 5, 6 years ago. I think I was on. It was either Black People Meet or Plenty of Fish or one of them, and I probably had went out on like 3 or 4 dates. And me, I'm not the type of dude who meets you online and we hook up and I'm gonna be all aggressive. Yeah, I met you online, so I know what it is. I'm gonna sit back and see what it is. And I found that I didn't get calls back, and I've chalked it up to I wasn't aggressive enough. Me, because I'm coming in being a gentleman. I already have it in my head because I've had conversation with several females, and this guy did this guy did that. I can't stand online dating, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be different from what they do. I'm gonna come as a gentleman and try to, go that route. But they don't appreciate that. And then another thing is, there's two. To me, there's two types of online dating. You have the online dating where you have these dating websites where that's what they're specifically for, and then you have online dating to where, let's just say, Facebook, and you have friends on there that you may talk to or whatever case may be, and y'all might start building something, or you might be in a Facebook group or something like that, and it's a friend of a friend, and y'all might click like that. So to me, there's different types of online dating. Now, if it's those dating sites that's specifically for that, I think that's garbage. That's just my personal point opinion.
Move on to our next point. Is the statement true? What you won't do, someone else will.
Always, that is always true. I
What
think
say you, Queen?
Well, since we're talking about the open relationships, if someone, we had that conversation in our first segment about having that conversation if your needs or your wants had changed, and if that person decides that they're not, with it, do is that statement true now? Do you look that person in the face and say, well, what you won't do, somebody else will? And even if you don't say that, does your actions show that? Do you suck it up and say, you know what, he or she is not into that, I'm gonna just make my relationship or my marriage work? Or you have that mindset of what you won't do, somebody else will, and now you don't tell him or her anything that you're doing. So now you're sneaky. So I guess, is that statement true?
it's very true. I mean,
Ah,
I think it's narcissistic.
do you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. That just
Well,
shows that you don't care about anybody else's feelings, just your own temporary pleasures, because you're not looking to grow, build a business. You're looking for your temporary pleasures to get your nut off is what you're looking for. Because you don't want this other female. You probably already even know who she is
mhm.
already. Probably gonna have some flirty conversations, and you just ready to score the deal, and you want to not have a guilty conscience that you slept with another woman or another man, if your wife is doing that. Because again, if you're not online just hooking up, because we know a lot of online is hooking up, you've probably already established some type of something that, I think Susan at work is feeling me, but I want to, you see what my wife think about this first, because you probably really don't want your wife, but when she says, I don't want this, or she has 10 list of rules, and you're like, I don't want to follow these rules, I'm grown, I'm just gonna, mess with Susan on the side. It's not a big deal. I work with her every day. You know what I mean? So do you say, well, damn, I shouldn't have been honest with her? Or now, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want to do.
I think that statement right there in particular more often comes from women. Um, I don't know too many men that blatantly use that statement. Um, they may do it in their actions, um, but I think women are more prone to say it out their mouths. Now, when you look at that being narcissistic, how do you decide how that what not how do you decide the more narcissistic way about that? Is it more narcissistic for a man for a woman to look at a man and be like, well, what you won't do, somebody else will? Or is it more narcissistic for a man to do that with his actions?
I think they both are. I like what, um, Soul had mentioned earlier of having that conversation with the person. And, if they don't agree, then, you know, you you don't do it, but you're not in the business to make your partner feel bad about themselves. They're equally whole, and this was just something that you wanted to explore.
Mm-hmm.
But when you make those type of comments, and you're right, I do hear women make those comments. I think that's kind of callous, but it does happen. So we cannot say it doesn't happen. It definitely does. Those that comment, whether it's in an argument or just speaking, where they have that type of attitude that they're king of Zamunda, or queen of the Nile.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, as far as that statement, um, I feel like this again. If you make a statement like that, then I think that's something that's on you. Meaning, i.e., if your partner isn't willing to give you what you feel is acceptable, then again, you have to be the one that look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, you're giving me X and Y, but you're not giving me Z, and I need all three.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, that's when you just go to your partner and say, hey, this isn't working for me. I'm coming to you and I'm telling you what I need from you. I'm not getting. Now you either uh, are open to give me what I want, or you're open to let me go.
Mm,
Mm.
Again, you have to be mature enough and woman enough or man enough to let your partner know this is what it is for me. Uh, I love you, but I need what I need. And who is your partner to tell you you're wrong for, expressing yourself and saying, this is what you need. But again, it's on you to be the mature one and say, um, I love you, but this cannot work because I'm not getting what I need.
mm,
It's not necessarily about a want, but a need. You got to have a need, a want. Anybody can want anything. Shit, I want a goddamn $1,000,000. That I mean, I'll fucking get it.
Mm.
But the point being is, when it comes down to your significant other, you just got to be grown up about it.
yeah. So,
Honesty.
so now we jump out down into the like, sort of like the nitty gritty of it. So swingers, partners in committed relationships engage in sexual activities with others at the same time. I already said, and I think we all agree that that's something that's not for us. Um, I kind of envy people who can do that. Um, and
I
I
second
say
that.
that because
I second that.
I as a man, I don't want to see another dude going balls deep in my woman. I just don't want to
I
see.
keep using my statement.
Hey, that's the statement of the night.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't want to sit there and see that because I know when I have my good night and I'm going balls deep in her, I know how it feels to me to be in there. I know how it feels to her when I'm in there. So to literally see her laid up with another dude or two or three, because swinging gets that way from what I've heard. I mean, she got somebody banging her, and her mouth is full from her goddamn lips down to a damn Adam's apple. I can't imagine myself looking at that and being like, oh yeah, baby getting it in. And then we go home and we do our thing. And equally, I've never met a woman who would be okay with me going balls deep in another chick.
Shit.
I've never met a woman that's going to be okay with that. So, with that, I envy those who have relationships where they do that and they have been together 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 years. I can't fathom it in my little brain.
I'll say this again. I agree with King on that. I envy anyone who's willing to open their relationship up to a situation like that. Again, it's not for me,
Mm.
but I definitely agree that if a couple is willing to do that together, that's not a bad thing. It, for the lack of a better word, it shows commitment because we're willing to do this shit together. There's no, behind the back or, uh, you do what the hell you want to, but it's not in my sight. I mean, if you are strong enough to watch your woman or your man be with someone else, then hats off to you. Do your thing. Again, it's your relationship, so what goes for you is what goes for you. And again, we're going to thank everyone for tuning in to the King and I Life podcast. And please stay tuned for segment 4 of this topic of monogamy and open relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.